Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're cutting through the noise and breaking down the Kisan Vikas Patra, or KVP 2026 guidelines. We're getting straight to the facts, the hard numbers, and the history to see exactly how this government-backed scheme actually works. But more importantly, we're going to help you figure out if it deserves a spot in your own personal investment portfolio.
All right, let's jump right in with the ultimate question, the one that brings so many conservative investors to this scheme in the first place. Do you want to double your money safely, completely shielded from market risk? Look, if you're totally exhausted by the stock market roller coaster and you just want guaranteed, predictable growth backed by the government of India, well, then this is a tool you absolutely need to understand.
And KVP isn't some flashy, untested new financial trend. It's got history. It actually launched way back in 1988. Now, interestingly enough, it was completely discontinued in 2011 because of some misuse issues, but recognizing the massive public demand for truly safe savings, the government brought it back in 2014 with much stronger safeguards. Fast forward to 2026, and it stands as an absolute pillar of conservative investing.
So what's the actual return you get for playing it so safe? Well, under the latest notified rates, you are guaranteed a 7.5% annual return. And what makes that 7.5% so incredibly powerful is that it's entirely sovereign-backed. There is literally zero market volatility here. It doesn't matter if global markets completely crash tomorrow, your return is securely locked in and compounding.
Now, because that 7.5% interest is compounding annually, it brings us to a sort of magic number, 115. That's the exact number of months it takes for your initial investment to effectively double. If we translate that into years, you're looking at exactly 9 years and 7 months. That is your rock-solid, predictable time horizon for doubling your capital. Let's put some real numbers to that 115-month compounding math, just to see it in action. Honestly, it's beautifully straightforward. Put in 10,000 rupees today, you get 20,000 at maturity. Drop in 50,000, you get 1 lakh. Deposit 1 lakh, it grows to 2 lakhs. And a 5 lakh investment becomes 10 lakhs. It's a wonderfully simple progression that takes literally all the guesswork out of your financial planning.
But hold on, before you go committing those funds, you absolutely have to understand the lock-in period. While the full ride is 115 months, you are subject to a strict 30-month minimum time frame where pulling your money out early is generally just not allowed. You really can't touch this money for 2.5 years, except in extreme, rare cases like a court order or the tragic death of the account holder. So, you're explicitly trading that early liquidity for absolute safety.
All right, before we uncover the massive KVP tax traps that so many investors fall for, I want to take a super quick pause. If you're finding this explainer helpful for organizing your own financial strategy, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Join our focused learning community so you never miss out on these clear, no-nonsense breakdowns.
Okay, let's get into the fine print on taxes, because this is exactly where people get caught off guard. Crucially, and listen closely to this, there is absolutely no Section 80C tax deduction benefit here. If you're hoping to lower your taxable income this year, KVP is not going to help you. Plus, the interest you earn, it's fully taxable. You have to report it in your income tax return as income from other sources, where it gets taxed at your personal slab rate. And here's the kicker. While there's generally no tax deducted at source, or TDS, at maturity, you are still 100% responsible for paying that tax yourself.
Moving beyond taxes, there are some pretty persistent myths surrounding KVP that we really need to bust. The biggest one? Well, because the word Kisan literally translates to farmer, a lot of folks just assume it's exclusively an agricultural scheme. But here's the reality. Absolutely any eligible resident Indian adult can invest. You can buy it at India post offices or authorized banks. You can even set up joint accounts or have a guardian invest for a minor. Really, the only major restriction is that new investments by non-resident Indians, NRIs, are generally a no-go.
Another really dangerous assumption ties right back to what we were just talking about with taxes. The myth is that since it's a government savings certificate and there's no TDS deducted when it matures, the final payout must be completely tax-free. Like we just covered, the stark reality is that the interest component is fully taxable as income. Do not let that lack of upfront TDS fool you into a nasty surprise tax bill later on.
The final myth we've got to bust is about how much money you can actually put into this scheme. A lot of government options cap your contributions because they want to limit their liability. Not KVP. The reality is, the minimum investment is a super accessible 1,000 rupees, and beyond that, there is absolutely zero upper limit. You can safely park as much capital as you want without ever hitting a ceiling.
So how does all of this actually stack up against your classic bank fixed deposit? When you map them out side by side, the differences are pretty eye-opening. KVP gives you sovereign government backing, while an FD relies entirely on the health of your specific bank. Now, both of them shield you from market risk, which is great, but KVP currently locks you in at a steady 7.5%, whereas bank rates are constantly fluctuating. Neither gives you Section 80C benefits unless you do a specific 5-year tax-saving FD, but KVP really stands out because of that no maximum investment limit rule, whereas banks might push back or restrict massive single deposits.
Ultimately, deciding if this is the right move for you comes down to matching your specific goals with long-term safety and zero market risk. Let's make it easy with a simple decision framework. Step 1. You have to actually desire guaranteed, predictable returns over the chance for higher market-linked growth. Step 2. You've got to accept that 115-month timeline to double your money, plus that strict 30-month lock-in. And Step 3. You shouldn't be needing this investment for immediate 80C tax relief. If you're nodding along with those 3 steps, this scheme is probably a fantastic fit for you.
If this explainer helped clear up the KVP mystery for you, definitely hit subscribe and join us for more structured financial breakdowns. We absolutely love stripping away all the jargon and giving you the exact data you need to make confident, informed decisions.
I'm going to leave you with this final thought to chew on as you map out your financial future. In an investing world that is so completely obsessed with high-speed, volatile gains, is guaranteed safety and absolute peace of mind actually worth the 115-month wait for your specific goals? Take a good look at your own portfolio. Weigh those tax rules and decide what truly works best for your timeline. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.